On episode 398 of Nintendo Switchcraft, I've got some updated thoughts on Daemon X Machina. The Switch gets new firmware, and Nintendo shares their PDFs. Those stories and more on this episode of Nintendo Switchcraft.
This is Frankenstein Gaming from the awesome city of New York, and you're listening to Nintendo Switchcraft.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Nintendo Switchcraft, your source for all the Nintendo news that is brought to you live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp and on Saturdays at my YouTube channel, youtube.com/runjumpstomp. This episode is made possible by patrons like Josh E. Get Switchcraft and my other content ad-free for as little as $1 by joining the Patreon over at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. You can also leave a voicemail just like you heard at the beginning of the show, and I may even play it on the show. In order to do that, head on over to runjumpstomp.com/voicemail from any device, and we'll play it on the show. Before we get going, there is a giveaway happening this Saturday. For more information about that, you can head on over to runjumpstomp.com/giveaway. And while you're there, read everything, then join the Discord and join the giveaway. Last week, Paco won it. So, without any further ado, it's time to talk about all of the Nintendo stuff, and I think we've got a lot. Hopefully I can pack it all into 30 minutes.
Let's go racing! It's Super Mario Kart Funny Car Madness! Only on Super NES! Turn the track into a giant mud pit! Or burn rubber on ice, wood, or asphalt! Mix it up with the big boys!
All right, we're back, and let's get started by talking about Daemon X Machina. Daemon X Machina is a game that, Nintendo really confused us. I think it was like a January direct, and they launched with this mech game which was kind of cell shaded and had like a heavy metal soundtrack, and when I saw it I was like, okay, this is definitely interesting. And then they launched a demo, and that demo was not good. Maybe you really enjoyed that first demo, but I felt like that demo was not fun even a little. Everything felt slow and clunky. The controls just weren't on. And I kind of wrote the game off after that. And I know that since then, they did make updates and they released another demo, and I skipped that demo. And then they recently released another demo. This one's called Prologue. And I think that if I'm correct, I think that you can play that one and then take your save data and transfer it into the full game if you decide to do so, if you decide to pick up the game. Well, last episode, I mentioned that I hadn't played the Prologue demo yet, and jharley17 in chat is saying, yes, this is true, so I'm correct about that. But I mentioned that the demo was out, and I hadn't had time to sit down and play it. Now, I gotta be honest, I've probably spent very little time with the demo compared to most people, but I did play the first two missions in the demo just to kind of get a feel for it. It was late last night by the time, like, I had to record. I was on an episode of no yesterday I didn't have to record anything at all. It was wonderful. So I didn't have anything to record, and I think I just played a couple of games and watched some other people play do stuff on Twitch, and then we went to Taekwondo and had dinner, and then when we got back, I was like, I'm going to check out this Daemon X Machina demo, see what it's like. And I only did two levels, and I got to say, I think that they have fixed my problems with it. I don't think I'm going to run out and get the game, though. I'm going to wait. Maybe it'll go on sale later. And honestly, the real reason why I'm not picking up the game right now is because Zelda Link's Awakening is coming out in 9 days. There's only 9 days until that game comes out. And I don't want to get into another game right now. So I know that I've got Zelda coming, and then I know right after that Dragon Quest XI S is coming, which is a huge mountain of a game. And I'm 99% sure that I'm going to buy that damn game again, even though I really don't need to. But with those two games coming in at the end of September, and then we've got October with Luigi, I just don't see myself taking a risk on Daemon X Machina right now. However, maybe next February, like maybe that's a good time for me to jump in on this game. At least for me, that's where I'm thinking. That being said, there's so many people out there, and there's so many people that like different kinds of games that there's been a lot of times where I've said, I can't believe that they're launching this game up against this game. This one's not going to do very well. And while I think that for people like me, and I think that there's probably more people who are going to prioritize a game like Zelda and Dragon Quest XI over a game like Daemon X Machina, I think that there's also going to be people out there that prioritize things in the reverse. And Daemon X Machina, just playing those 2 levels, the controls felt better. At first, I was very confused until I realized that you have to get close to the enemies in order for the auto targeting to hit. So let me explain real quick. When you're playing this game, you're in a giant mech and you've got a huge targeting reticle, right? With X in the middle. And that X in the middle is where your bullets will definitely go. However, if you get close enough to the enemy, it will highlight them if they're within that circle. And then if you hold down the trigger button, it will automatically target them, which might sound real bad, but the controls are loose enough and you move around enough that I think it makes sense. And I feel like the overall game felt a lot more fast, a lot more fluid, and I was enjoying it a lot more. And I'm actually going to play more of the demo as soon as I have time. I'm super swamped right now. I'm recording Switchcraft right now, obviously, and then I have to edit it and do the YouTube video and everything. I got to get ready for Stadia Cast later on this week because Lloyd and I, that show is like exploding. It was on Kind of Funny Games. It was on IGN. Like my face is on CNET for crying out loud and PC Gamer. It's kind of bananas. So I gotta kind of make sure I focus on that instead of playing Daemon X Machina. However, the night before, was it last night? I did record a thing last night. Now I remember. I was on an episode of Joystick and Mouse last night. Or was that on Monday? I can't even remember. That's how crazy things are right now. And then later on tonight, I'm recording an episode of Breaking the Panel. So I've got a ton on my plate right now, and I just can't make time for Daemon X Machina. But I feel like my complaints about that game have been alleviated. And it's definitely a game that's going to go on my wish list, and I am going to be picking it up at some point in the future. I don't know when, but I'm definitely interested. All right, let's talk about an update that just happened. We've got a firmware update for the Nintendo Switch. We're now all the way up to 9.0.0. And I'm showing, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/runjumpstomp, you can see the patch notes up there. So let's go through the patch notes and make sure that everybody's on the same page, honestly. So version 9.0.0 came out. It came out 2 days ago, and it added the following system functionality. Added a search feature for the news channel. This is definitely cool. I did watch somebody try searching for a game, and it didn't come up, which is a little odd. I haven't actually tried to use that functionality, and I'm not going to do it now because it's too distracting. But I think that that's a good thing, but I'm curious how many people out there use the news channel. Like for me, the news channel is not something that I usually go to. I go to places like Reddit or like a million other places. I go all over the place looking for Nintendo news rather than have the filtered version come to me because I feel like the news channel just isn't useful enough. But I'm curious how many of you out there actually look at the news channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, I'm going to put a poll right up here. And you know what? I'm also going to tweet out a poll about this, if you use the news channel or not. And I'm curious as to what the results are. So I'll tweet that out after the show. Hopefully the live chat will remind me. Johnny Link in chat says, "You are my news channel." Thank you very much, Johnny Link. I appreciate it. What else did they do? They added a display QR code to check in the user settings. Now, what would you use this for? You would use this for going to like a tournament or something, and you could use that QR code to check in so that your Nintendo ID is known to the people who are running the tournament. Like the upcoming Smash, like there's a Smash tournament. I think I talked about it last episode, where you will go and or you play online, and then they're going to invite the best people to go and play against the other best people, which is kind of cool. And I'll bet you that that's how you'll check in to verify that you are who you say you are with that QR code. So that makes a lot of sense. This is very interesting. They added alarm notifications to the system settings and notifications, so you can set alarms to go off at certain times. Is this going to be it? The only way that this is useful, in my opinion, is if you can set it up. Perhaps you have a certain time that you have to stop playing games every day. So, for instance, like let's say that I want to go to Taekwondo with my son, and I want him to know that, hey, we're going to be leaving in 5 minutes, so you got to go change into your uniform. So what'll happen is if you could set it to go off every day at the same time, it would, like a little alarm would go off on your Switch, which is kind of cool. But I think that the use case for that is pretty few and far between. Most people aren't going to use it like that. And the way that I would probably think it would make more sense is if you could hold a button or easily access like alarms and set them so like, oh, shoot, I know that I got to do something in 15 minutes, but I'm going to try and play another level of Daemon X Machina or something. And then when that alarm goes off, I'll do it. I used to do that all the time in World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft had a button that you could click on that you could set an alarm so that knew that in a half hour I had to leave for class or whatever, back when I was in college. So I think that it's a good addition. Probably not something that I'm going to use because I have a smartphone. And I think, most people who are playing a Nintendo Switch have smartphones, except for maybe little kids. So maybe it's for them. I don't know. Let me know if you think that there's a better use case for it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment down below, and I'll check those out. You can also now configure touchscreen sensitivity settings. They have two settings, which is like the normal setting. And then now there's also a stylus setting, which is pretty good. It makes it a little bit faster to respond to the stylus. And my first thought is, why would I ever if it makes it faster to respond, why would I ever set it to normal? So if you can think of something that would make sense for that, feel free to let me know. It doesn't make any sense to me why I would ever leave it on normal instead of having the screen be more responsive. Not that I ever thought the Switch was unresponsive for its screen, but if I can make it more responsive, then why wouldn't I? If you can think of a reason, please feel free to let me know. You also have an option to turn on off system button input. This is only for the Nintendo Switch Lite, which comes out on the 20th alongside Zelda Link's Awakening. It says here, when this setting is turned off, the system no longer receives input from the console buttons, with the exception of the capture and home buttons, and can only be operated from a wirelessly paired controller, which is sold separately. This setting is on by default and can only be turned off if a compatible controller, sold separately, is wirelessly paired to the console. The setting will automatically turn back on when the console is restarted or after returning to sleep mode. I think, I could be wrong, but is this so that it won't accidentally turn on in your backpack? Like, that's the only reason that I could think of that you would want this, is so that it wouldn't turn on in your backpack. And I will say this, when I first got the Switch 2.5 years ago, I had it in my bag, in my backpack. I didn't have a case for it yet, and it did get turned on. And when I went to take it out of the bag, it had shut off, and it was super, super hot. So that is a real concern. And I think that it's good that you could make it so that the buttons won't turn it on inadvertently. But why would it only be for the Switch Lite then? because they're both portable systems. So that's something that's just not adding up for me. Unless maybe you can use some of your Ouija magic and figure out exactly what's going on. I'm not sure what the point of this is if it's not for both consoles. It's just not occurring to me. They also have, this is probably the biggest change, the thing that I'm most excited about. They added online play invites section to the user page. So if you go into the users page and under the user page, and I'm trying to open up mine right now. I have to wait for this notification that I successfully downloaded a game to go away. Under the user page, they have this thing called online play invites. And that is where somebody can, of course, you can't see this because it's just too bright for my camera. If somebody sends you an invite to play with them, now you can respond to that and have a list of these invites, which I think is very, very cool. In fact, if there's anybody watching right now who has their Switch in their hand and has me on their friends list, send me an invite to play something because I'm curious as to what will happen. So J Harley 17 in chat says that theirs is on, and I think that he and I are friends on Nintendo Switch. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. But let's go back to the rest of it. Oh, well, guess what? The rest of it is, you guessed it, stability. The rest of it is stability. Resolved an issue where some users... Oh, yeah. And there was a problem if you had downloaded the DLC for Fire Emblem Three Houses. You couldn't start your game anymore. So they fixed that. Whatever that problem was, they fixed it. But what do you guys think of these updates? I think the online play invites thing is very much a thing that needed to happen a long time ago. And maybe it's the first step in the right direction, or in the direction of an actual party system. Don't get your hopes up about getting like voice chat and stuff like that, but having a party system where you're in a group before you get into a game, I think that would be really, really cool. So anyway, I'm just going to leave my Switch sitting here on my desk, and hopefully that invite comes in from J Harley 17 and we can see exactly what it means. But before we do anything else, let's take a minute and we're going to thank our sponsors. And stick around. When we come back, we've got to talk about some PDFs. All right, here we go.
What's it like to play the Nintendo Entertainment System?
Oh my gosh, it stopped. Okay, I thought that ad was a little bit longer. I thought that was a little bit longer than that, so I was not ready to start talking again. That's okay. We won't worry about it. You know what? I'm just going to edit that part out. All right, and we are back. Nintendo is sharing some PDFs with us, and it is rad. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can go to Nintendo's website, or you go to runjumpstomp.com, episode 398. The show notes there has a link to this, and it's really cool. I gotta say, it's got manuals for Star Fox 2, Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, The Legend of Zelda, a whole bunch of games. It even has the Earthbound Player's Guide, which is something that I don't think I've ever seen. This is the kind of thing that I love this stuff. I love this old stuff. I keep... my iPad's in my backpack. I keep old issues of Electronic Gaming Monthly as well as Nintendo Power on my iPad. And whenever I am feeling nostalgic, I'll break out my iPad and flip through old issues of this. And this is definitely something that I just adore this stuff. Being able to, it's like going back in time and seeing what things were like back in the day. So again, if you go to runjumpstomp.com, this is the show notes for episode 398. You can see all of this stuff. I think it's cool, and not enough companies do this. Now, what I think would be way better than this is if Nintendo put these manuals on the Switch, like maybe as an app. Wouldn't that be cool to be able to have these with you on your Switch if you didn't have a sorry, my brain stopped working. If you didn't have an iPad or a phone or something like that to look on, it would be awesome if these were on the Switch and you could just download them to your Switch and look through them when you felt like it, especially for the games that are now on the Switch. Games like F-Zero and Super Metroid. Like, those games are now Switch games. They're Super Nintendo games that are Switch games, and they don't have the directions for you. So I think it would be awesome if that stuff were available. Let's talk about a feature that the Switch has that I always find interesting, and I feel like that needs some updating, and hopefully maybe 10.0 can bring this change. Is the number of hours played, because it's very vague. The number of hours that you play in a game is very, very vague. It doesn't say how long. Like, they know this information. There's no way that they don't know this information. But like, when I go in and look at Tetris 99 on my Switch, it says I've played for 10 hours or more. Okay, but why don't you tell me exactly how many hours? Is that more than 10 but less than 11? Or is that more than 10 and less than 20? Like, we really don't know. Super Smash Brothers, I played for 60 hours or more. Diablo 3, 45 hours or more. The Long Journey Home, first played 3 days ago. Like, it doesn't really tell me the information that I want to know. And I think that's definitely too bad, especially because the Wii U and the 3DS, those systems were able to tell you, like, I think down to the minute. J Harley 17 just said, I can't figure out how to send an invite. Thank you for trying, though, J Harley 17. I appreciate it. No big deal, man. I think that, you were able to figure out exactly how long you played a game on these old systems, but with the Switch, they're just kind of obfuscating and hiding information from you, and I don't understand why. And I know that information is available because I added my Switch to have parental controls on it, as well as my son's, so I could see exactly how much time we were spending in games. So I'm opening up my Switch right now, and we'll see. Like, yesterday, I spent 55 minutes playing games yesterday. Tetris 99 and Daemon X Machina. Those are the two games that I played yesterday. If I look at the day before, I spent 5 minutes playing Super Nintendo, and the day before that I spent 1 hour and 30 minutes playing The Long Journey Home, Super Nintendo, and there's one other game that I can't quite oh god, it's that Diablo clone that's really awesome, and I like the icons are real small, so I can't see it. Oh, here we go. Torchlight 2. So Torchlight 2 is the other one that I've been playing. So, like, all that data is available if you have your parental controls turned on and you have it on your phone, but you can't get to that information on your Switch. And I think that's just weird. I don't understand why. Anyway, why am I bringing this up? Well, I'm bringing it up because there's this guy. I assume it's a guy. His me looks like a guy, and his name is Aidman. And Samir Aidman on Twitter posted this insane picture. Are you guys ready for this? It has his Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild playtime. And it says that they have played for 9,999 hours or more, but that's where it caps out. Now, we did a little fast math before the show, and in order for you to get 9,999 hours in one game on your Nintendo Switch, that means that game needs to have been running on your Switch for at least 12 hours a day, every day since the Switch came out, which is just bananas. I know I say bananas a lot, but that's crazy. The guy also has 270 hours in Super Mario Odyssey. Like, this guy is a hardcore gamer, without a doubt. So I think that it's weird that it caps out at that number, but I guess Nintendo just assumed nobody's going to be playing a video game for 10,000 hours. Joel Mead says, this guy needs a job. Don't at me. I don't know, man. Maybe he's independently wealthy and doesn't need a job. You know, there's always that. Who knows? All right, let's lightning round the rest of these because we've only got 5 minutes left. So first off, Blasphemous looks really cool. Blasphemous looks awesome. This is a game that is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Very much feels like a Castlevania style game. Feels like a Metroidvania style game. And it's got really cool 16-bit style graphics, side-scrolling platforming. A little more, I feel like it's a little more Castlevania-y than Metroid-y, if that makes sense. But maybe that's just because it's kind of primarily melee. The bosses look huge, and the animations look fantastic. This game looks real good. And I am excited for this. I'm not going to pick it up right now because I've just got too much on my plate, like I've said. But it looks awesome, and I think this could be a winner. It looks real fun. By the way, not for kids. I guess I should have said that before. If you're watching this on YouTube, I apologize. It is all pixelated blood on 16-bit pixelated blood. But I think it looks cool, and I just wanted to make sure that people knew about it. It's called Blasphemous. And I want to try this game. It's very cool. Nintendo, this next story is very stupid, I think. But I know that there's a lot of people out there who are going to be tweeting about it. But they're saying Nintendo really wants to wow us with Breath of the Wild 2. So here's a quote from an interview. It says, yes, the sequel is currently in development. At present time, we cannot comment much about the game. But we wish to deliver new gameplay experiences that exceed the previous game to fans and users, so we will have to borrow the strength of many people to create this new title, hence the reason we are hiring new terrain designers at Nintendo. This I found this over on Nintendo Soup. Now, why do I think this is a stupid story? It's a stupid story because everybody's grabbing a hold of the headline and saying, Nintendo says that they want to make Breath of the Wild 2 really good. What the hell else are they going to say? They're not going to say, hey, everybody, we want to make another Breath of the Wild game, but we're going to make sure to we're going to half-ass it. We're not going to do a real good job. We're really going to sit down, put our feet up, drink a beer, and not focus. And we're going to ship you a game that's just kind of garbage. You know, are they going to say that? Absolutely not. Do I think that they're going to say anything like, or do anything like that? No, I think they're probably going to knock it out of the park because if past is precedence, we know that that's what Nintendo does. They knock it out of the park 90% of the time. They really do. And I'm looking forward to this game. So, Bill, why are you talking about it on the show? Well, I'm talking about it on this show because that's just part of an interview with Satoshi Takizawa, and I'm sorry for butchering these guys' names, Manabu Takihara and Yohei Izumi. So if you want to know more about the people who are working on the new Zelda Breath of the Wild game, go ahead and read this interview. It's actually pretty interesting, but I'm not going to get into it now because mostly we're out of time. Anyway, now you guys know everything that's going on in the world of Nintendo. Thank you for listening. Let's button this up and let's get out of here. Become a part of the community over at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. There's like 500 people in there. It's getting more and more every day. Make sure that you join. Make sure that you participate, and make sure that you play games with each other. We've got voice channels in there so people can play together, and we've got an LFG channel as well. So join that community. Again, that URL is runjumpstomp.com/Discord. If you want to watch the show live, like a bunch of fantastic people are doing right now, you can join us over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. You can get a hold of me, runjumpstomp@gmail.com, or you can reach out on Twitter at runjumpstomp. Use the hashtag Nintendo Switchcraft. I usually save up all the feedback for the Saturday show, so make sure that you get a hold of me. Tell me what you think about stuff. I want to let you guys know that this show is part of the giant-sized Team Up Network. For more information, check out gstu.net. If you want to check out the other giant-sized shows over there, make sure that you do. If you are looking for ways to support the show, head on over to runjumpstomp.com/thank-you. And for more content like this, check out my other shows at runjumpstomp.com/shows. The music you're about to hear is Corneria Star Fox remix by Noteblock. It is awesome. You guys rock for hanging out with me. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!